Welcome to Kyle Anthony's UFC betting show. I am Kyle Anthony, and welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the bet review show for UFC on ESPN +9, Iaquinta versus Donald Cerrone. We're going to talk about our two free plays that we had on our prediction show. You can take a look at that on my channel, have them up right now. Also, we're going to talk about our best bet play. That was for purchase on Wagertalk. We'll get into these three plays. Before we do not forget to subscribe, head kick the bell icon, get involved in the channel. Always appreciate everybody down below having conversations, and I always continue down below in the comment section. So you will realize also that my voice is a little off today. A lot of yelling, a lot of screaming, a lot of great time this past weekend out with some friends, and went out and did some betting on the Kentucky Derby. I had that one horse. I still think that he should have worked his way in there a little bit, and, they're throwing horses out. I think he should have kind of moved him up a little bit in there. But besides for that, we had UFC. So we're first going to talk about our free play. Now, our free play was on Donald Cerrone to defeat Iaquinta in the main event. We cashed in on Donald Cerrone. We got him at +115 on that Thursday play. Was nice odds because they started to even shift even more towards more of a pick'em, a minus line. But overall here, looking at this fight, this was a fight here that I really like the arsenal and really overall what Cowboy brings. Now, he's got better, grappling. He's got better kicks overall. His striking is definitely elite when it comes up to there. But you've got the toughness of Iaquinta. And that's going to be something that a lot of people were looking at into this fight. Iaquinta pressure moving forward. We saw what happened with Darren Till moving forward on Cowboy and able to put Cowboy away. That was really a lot of the people who liked Iaquinta were really looking at this point. And I cannot blame anybody. This is a very, very close fight. Going into it, a very close fight, and I like the odds of Cowboy overall. But when they went in there early on this fight, this was overall a one-sided victory for Cowboy, and one that I did not think that was going to be that way. I thought Cowboy was going to pull this victory out, no doubt, but I did not think that it was going to be a 4-1. I think that's what the judges had, about a 4-1 rounds, and it was very one-sided. I mean, great kick, snapping jab, really pieced up Al from beginning to end. And the one thing that Al's going to do is he's going to keep moving forward. He's not scared to move forward. He's one of the toughest guys there comes in the UFC. He's not scared to take a shot to give a shot. But in this situation, he wasn't landing. He was taking a shot. He wasn't able to give the shot back. And even when he had, and it was at that second round, I believe it was, a couple times, Al landed a really big shot and stumbled Cowboy. And those were the shots that anybody who was betting Iaquinta was saying, if he lands one or two of those, the fight is going to be over. And even me betting Cowboy, I'm saying if one of those land, Cowboy's that could be over, because the questionable chin, and people have kind of, brought that up here and there, and also brought up the fact that is he really pushing himself anymore? Is he really looking to make that run into a title opportunity for him? And this was going to be a fight that obviously he came out there and he beat Mike Perry, and came out there and he beat Hernandez, and Mike Perry at the time, a little shaky. Hernandez, unproven. This is Iaquinta, a vet and a tough fighter all around. I thought he fought so well. This was the best Cowboy I think I've seen in a long time. Just with, the way it's almost like he's maturing even more in the cage, and he's, kind of, heading towards the twilight of his career. Although he's still on the younger side of the older guys, but has been in the UFC for so long that this was a great spot for him to really overall work his combinations, be able to defend. There was even the grappling exchanges he looked fantastic on, was able to get Al down, put Al to the ground a couple times with some big shots. That front kick was amazing. I mean, he really Al didn't even know where these shots were coming from. And that was a big part again, and we're not going to dive into it overall, because if you want to take a look at what I thought of the fight, you can check out the prediction show. But the kicks were going to be the difference maker. And the leg kicks we talked about, those would be the difference maker. That was going to really be able to soften up and slow down Al throughout the fight. Now, putting Al away is going to be very tough because he is that kind of guy. You got a guy like Khabib who wasn't even able to do that. So, you've got that situation now where, you know what? he really showed what he can do in the cage. I was really, watching the fight, going into, you're not sure. And again, that big shot, if it lands, is that going to be the end of his night? He was able to really withstand that. I think that shows a lot of great, moving forward for him. It shows a lot of great things for him because that was the big downside. If he can't take a punch, where is he going to go? Showed that he was able to here. Lopsided victory for Donald Cerrone. So we do cash in on our free play. Donald Cerrone at plus 115. Now, the other one we're going to talk about is the other free play. Sorry about my voice here. The other free play, we had Shane Burrows to defeat Cub Swanson. We had Shane Burrows at minus 160. And this fight here, this was one that, I almost wish I was very close to making this my best bet. And I'm almost a little bit upset that I didn't make it because the best bet did lose. But we're going to talk about this one here. We had Shane Burrows to defeat Cub Swanson. Now, the big part here to me was Cub Swanson. I mean, yes, he has fought had three straight losses, but fought, Mercado, fought Frankie Edgar, fought Brian Ortega. And those three are very tough, top-level fighters, and a lot of people were really saying, hey, we like Cub Swanson because, you know what, he's fought some tough guys. But the fight even against Artem Lobov was something to me that I thought was a spot where he should have just lit up Artem. And yes, he won, and yes, it was a one-sided victory, but it wasn't that Cub Swanson going out there, standing toe-to-toe, because Artem is willing to stand toe-to-toe with his short arms, and go out there and lay out Artem. And he didn't do it. He it was, again, a good fight, but it wasn't that old Cub, and then going through those last three fights, getting beaten. Had some stoppages. You had first round stoppage, second round stoppage, a decision. And Shane Burrows, I just think, is technically so much better. He's another kind of guy that keeps elevating every fight. I mean, he really, even in his loss, I think that he learned a lot. And sometimes those losses early in your career can really change your trajectory. And I think overall, again, his 5-inch reach advantage, he really utilized that terrific throughout the fight. Really able to keep Cub at bay and not only just having that reach advantage, but the way he throws his punches. And, it's like an Amanda Nunes. Amanda Nunes is very long when she throws her punches. She's not in tight throwing those hooks. And that's exactly what Burrows does. He's got some power. He's good on the ground. He's very well-rounded. I like what he was able to do overall. I thought he looked impressive here. I'm interested to see who they're going to put up against him next because, he's a young, hungry lion now. And now you've got, Cub Swanson, victory on your belt. I think that says a lot of great things about him, but overall, he fought well. Really a nice showing for him. Totally one-sided. I'm not even sure how there was a split. Somebody gave Cub Swanson 30-27. I don't even know how that's even possible, but, even when I heard, going into the decision, I'm saying this is easy. When I hear the split part, I'm like, here we go. Here's another robbery coming my way. But they ended up giving it to him. Burrows gets the victory, 2-1. So we do cash in on our other free play. Shane Burrows at minus 160. And this last one here, the best bet, Brad Katona. Now, I'm not going to dive into this whole fight here. I'm not going to. This was a one-sided victory for the other guy. Because I really thought that Brad was going to have a lot, although he was going to be the shorter guy, and I knew that. But when they stood there, I was actually really surprised how much shorter he was than his opponent here. But he had not, the guy's got wrestling background, the guy's got some striking, but he just really didn't show anything. There was nothing of highlight at any point for him. He was easily taken down for a guy with wrestling background. He was not really doing very well stand-up either. It was from top to bottom in that fight, there was never a point. And even when he was on the ground, once he was on his back, Brad was on his back, there was no escaping it. You could tell there was just no escaping him getting off of his back at that point, trying to work out of it. And even times where he kind of, fought and got back up, he was taken back down again. So I was very surprised that I thought he would really be elevating here. I like the team that he comes from, and the guys that are behind him, the guys that are around him, and all of that. I really like the gym part of it and the training camp, and none of that looked to really show at all in this fight. It was a lopsided victory, a lopsided loss, I should say, for Brad Katona. And overall, I don't really know. At this point, I think that he's really more in the development stages of his career than really a guy that's ready to hit that next level. And I was kind of looking at him as, you know what, this should be a fighting a guy who's 8-4, a very winnable fight, a guy that's looking to wrestle also, and he literally beats you at your own game. So I think that he's got a lot more improvement to do. We'll see what happens. So there it was. We were 2-1 this past weekend. Not too shabby, but I'm very excited for this coming Saturday. UFC 237, a great card, great main event. There are a ton of good fights on the prelims, the main card, a lot of great fights. Very excited to talk about that one on Thursday. We will have the the prediction show out on Thursday. And again, the bet review show normally Sunday, Monday. We'll kind of see how much partying I do this weekend. But we will have that all for you on Thursday. So definitely give it a like. Give it a follow, subscribe, follow me at Mr. UFC Vegas on Twitter, and we will have the show then. I will see you next time, and this is Kyle Anthony's UFC Betting Show, and I'll see you next time. And I'll have a voice, hopefully.